Have you ever been told you're weird or socially awkward, but when you ask people what specifically you're doing wrong, they just say things like, oh, it's okay to be yourself, or don't worry about it? These responses are useless. If you're genuinely struggling in social situations, you don't need platitudes. You need specific feedback about what you're actually doing that makes people uncomfortable. The truth is, when people perceive someone as socially awkward, it's not some vague personality flaw. It's specific, observable behaviors that violate social norms. And the good news? These behaviors can be identified and corrected. Today, we're breaking down the exact reasons why people might see you as socially awkward, so you can finally understand what's going wrong. Number one, eye contact problems. You're either making too much eye contact or too little. Too much eye contact makes you seem like a stalker or lunatic. You can't just stare someone down without blinking. When you're talking, it's actually normal to look away occasionally and then return your gaze. Too little eye contact is equally bad. If you never make eye contact, people think you're extremely shy, withdrawn, or not interested in them. The eyes are the window to the soul, and most communication happens through facial expressions. When you're listening, you should make more eye contact, so when they look at you, they know you're paying attention. Number two, personal space violations. In America, there's a 12 to 18-inch personal space bubble that should not be violated unless you're on intimate terms with someone. If you're a close talker who gets right in people's faces, you're going to be perceived as weird and uncomfortable. People will feel violated. But standing 3 feet away during a normal conversation is also strange. That's too far. You need to maintain that appropriate middle distance. Study socially skilled people and copy their spacing. Number three, poor hygiene. There's no gentle way to say this. Maybe you smell. Bad breath or body odor will immediately make people think you're unclean and strange. In America, there are strict norms about showering daily and not having body odor. You need to brush your teeth, use mouthwash, chew gum, use breath mints, and shower regularly. If you violate these hygiene norms, people will avoid you and think you're weird, even if you're otherwise a great person. Number four, lack of filter. You say taboo things without thinking. You use profanity inappropriately, talk about controversial topics like religion and politics in ways that offend people, or say exactly what's on your mind without regard to appropriateness. Social norms dictate that you avoid certain taboo topics in polite company. Topics like sex, body functions, extremely personal details, divisive politics. These will get you labeled as someone who doesn't understand social boundaries. People will see you as unsafe to interact with. Number five, wrong amount of self-disclosure. When you first meet someone, you should share surface-level information. Your name, where you live, what you do for a living, maybe some hobbies. That's it. If you immediately start telling strangers about your deep psychological problems, trauma, addictions, or embarrassing personal details, that's too much information. People will think you're weird and uncomfortable. On the flip side, if you never reveal anything about yourself, people won't trust you. There's a norm of reciprocity in conversation. If someone shares something, you should share something of similar intimacy level. If you don't, you're violating social expectations. Number six, being irrelevant. You don't stay on topic. One of the core rules of conversation is relevance. When someone is talking about a specific topic, your contribution should relate to that same topic. If you constantly change subjects abruptly or say things that have nothing to do with what was just discussed, people will think you're strange. Non sequiturs, statements that don't follow logically from the previous topic, make you seem like you're not really listening or don't understand how conversations work. Number seven, can't enter or exit conversations. You either barge into conversations without invitation or you linger way too long when people are trying to leave. When someone says, okay, great talking to you, I've got to get going, that's your cue to leave immediately. If you keep talking after multiple exit signals, you're being socially awkward. Similarly, if you're invited into a conversation and you refuse or ignore the invitation, that's also strange. You need to recognize social cues for entering and leaving interactions. Number eight, no back channel cues. When someone is talking to you, you need to give signals that you're listening. Things like, yeah? Oh, really? Tell me more.
If you just sit there silently while someone talks, they'll think you're not listening or that you're weird. Listening is active, not passive. You need to verbally and non-verbally show engagement. Number 9, lack of empathy. You might struggle to recognize other people's feelings, understand their perspectives, or respond appropriately to their emotions. You don't acknowledge when someone is upset, you don't offer comfort when someone is hurting, or you don't pick up on emotional cues. Empathy involves recognizing feelings, relating them to your own experience, understanding other people's goals and intentions, and responding with compassion. If you lack these skills, people will find you difficult to connect with. Here's the reality. All of these are learnable skills. Even if you struggle with social nuances, even if you didn't grow up learning these norms, you can improve. Social awkwardness isn't a permanent personality trait. It's a set of specific behaviors that can be changed with awareness and practice. The key is getting specific feedback, observing socially skilled people, and deliberately practicing these skills. It takes effort, but you can dramatically reduce how weird or awkward people perceive you to be by working on these concrete areas. So if you've been wondering why people see you as socially awkward, start with these 9 behaviors. Identify which ones you're struggling with and begin making corrections. The difference in how people respond to you will be remarkable. Let me know in the comments which of these do you relate to most so we can help each other level up socially.